You're watching the Coaches Roundtable on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Welcome to the Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi. To my right, the Swami George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. You see, we are taking precautions. We're back to wearing masks. No need to further explain that. Let's go to Spotlight. High school boys golf. Jacob Woley of Slippery Rock High School shot a course record 30 on the back nine at Deer Creek Golf Course. Jacob Felsing of Montauk 36. Nolan Nicholas of Seneca Valley at 36. Chris Hoffman, North Allegheny, at 37, and Corey Volts of Knock at 38. Girls golf, Paige Scott, Butler at 36. Lahini Ranawira of Seneca Valley at 37. Emma Covert of Montauk 46 to take first at the Keesack tournament at Albury's Golf Course. And harness racing at the Meadows, Brady Brown of Slippery Rock. The cash keeps rolling in. 2 more wins and checks the 7,500 and 8,900. What did he pull in this past month? About 40 or 50 grand.
He's a good rider. I'm telling you, he's a good driver.
Lernerville Speedway winners, Cy Lynch, the 410 sprints. Chad Ruhlman won the rush sprints, and Greg Dabrowski, the Allegheny Sprint Tour 305. And in COVID news, the Butler Erie football game, it was canceled. We hope Butler's back on track against Meadville in their home opener. We will be there to bring you that game, tape delay. And in transfer news, former Butler basketball player Tyler Frederick, he moves from Division III LaRoche to Division II Slippery Rock. The 6'4" forward averaged 18.9 points, 11.3 rebounds during the 2019-20 season for LaRoche. Of course, he didn't play last year. Our stories of the week, college football. For the 12th straight year, Slippery Rock University opened up with a win, this one on the road. The number 5 Rockets, 24, Wayne State 21. Quarterback Andrew Kessler in his first start, 24-38, 316 yards, a touchdown and an interception. And the dynamic duo of Henry Litwin, he caught 9 for 161 yards and a TD. Wide receiver Jermaine Wynn Jr., he caught 6 for 65 yards. The Rock had trouble running the football, something I know they're going to have to address. They open up this weekend with East Stroudsburg on a 6 p.m. kickoff. Game-saving tackle by linebacker Isaiah Manning on a 3rd and goal. He made a stop at the 2-yard line.
I think it's good for Slippery Rock that they had a challenge early, that they'll practice better, take that number 5 ranking away and say, listen, we need to play every week. People are out to get us. Slippery Rock has the bullseye on their back right now. It's the same as Ohio State versus Minnesota. It's good to have a tough game in your first game so you can address it and say, let's get better.
Other news before we get to our NFL rankings, New England, they cut quarterback Cam Newton and quarterback Brian Hoyer, but they signed him to the practice squad. And Jason Stidham, he's on the physically unable to perform list, so that leaves rookie Mac Jones in charge of the team. The Cowboys release Pine Richard and James Madison quarterback Ben DiNucci. Baltimore releases quarterback Trace McSorley. So the conjecture is, where does Newton go? They thought Dallas, but they picked up Will Greer, former West Virginia quarterback. So does Newton end up in Baltimore?
He'll end up someplace. I'm not sure where. I really don't know. But that was a good move by New England. George and I have been saying all along, I don't know what Belichick was watching, thinking that Cam Newton could win. He's done. He's done. And sometimes that's what happens. And they decided to go with the rookie. We'll find out. It's a perfect time for him because their defense is really good and they're going to run the football.
And see, he doesn't have to worry about, if he loses all 17, it doesn't matter. See, where any other coach, if he goes to the guy too quick and they lose too many, they get fired.
Well, let's look at the Steelers. They got down to their 53. They cut a lot of players, but they re-signed about 9 of them back to practice squad. We just look at them before we get to our rankings and grading the different positions. I look at the quarterback position because of Ben. Little concerned about the backup situation. As you mentioned, he gets hurt. I'm giving that a grade of an A minus for the quarterback situation.
Yeah, as long as Ben's there, it's an A. When he drops off, it goes down to a C quickly. And divide the two. You're about right. A B would be a good grade for the Steelers.
Well, here's a key area: running back. Everything projected to improve under Najee Harris. They were last in the league last year in running the football, last in the AFC, averaging only 84 yards a game. Can he get it done for them? I give them a grade B because I'm not sure about who's behind him.
Yeah,
McFarland, Snell.
I like Mullage. I like him a lot. I was watching him play at San Diego. Tough. I watched him play at Arizona State. He's an NFL back. He'll get some tough yards. But you know one thing, Eddie. Doesn't matter who the back is, does it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It matters who the offensive line is.
Well, we're gonna get to the line, but I'm giving the running backs a grade of B. Wide receivers, I give them an A. I think they have maybe the best receiving core in the NFL with Juju and Claypool and Johnson, Washington, and Ray McLeod.
Yeah, and don't forget tight end's part of that.
Tight end's part of it. I put them in a separate
but I'm saying
category.
they're going to be
Right.
good.
The great receivers, Ebron caught 54 last year. Then you have the rookie Freiermuth out of Penn State and Zach Gentry. I give him a grade of B only because there's no great blocking. Ebron's just not a blocker. You might as well, he'd be better served as like an H-back or a slot back.
It's one of the reasons they can't run the football. And we're going to find out if they block any better. But I really like Johnson a lot. He's the bell cow of that group. He'll catch 100 balls again. If he stops dropping some of the easy ones, then he might catch 120.
Well, the offensive line, they have 8, but here's the problem. Zach Banner, he's not 100%. He won't be ready for about 3 or 4 weeks. If then, they're still, here's what concerns me. They're still juggling the line, still switching and moving guys around at this late part of the season before the opener with Buffalo. The rookie Dan Moore has been shifted to left tackle. Chuck Okafor has been shifted back over to right tackle. They're starting a rookie at center in Kendrick Green. All this experimentation, the backups are somewhat inexperienced. I'm giving this line a grade of C, 4 new starters and the issue of depth.
Well, Eddie, I will say this, that you're a nice grader for the Steelers. I give him an F. I see this being the weakest offensive line in football.
I agree.
I have no idea. Colbert better go out. If he's any thinker, he's got to sign a couple guys. He's got to go out and scour the NFL for
last cuts like
but even at that, the situation when you say scour and bring them in, you don't have that chance to gel.
I know that.
You got 3 days of practice each week, and it's sad to say that in their division, the AFC North, even the Bengals have a better offensive line.
Way better.
And they forget about it. Baltimore and Cleveland, their offensive lines are so much
division.
better.
Believe it or not, in today's game, Baltimore will run the ball, so will Cleveland.
And that's why Ben's so important. That's why he's the A guy. He gets rid of the ball quickly, knows where to go with the ball, and they said last year, don't throw the ball quick. You play quarterback for the Steelers and stand back there and see yourself get killed.
But if they don't run the ball,
they're going to try to. I didn't say they're going to be successful.
All right, defensive line with Stephon Tuitt, I give that defensive line a B+ grade. He's not likely to play for 4 weeks. He's still dealing with the emotional issue of his mother seeing his brother killed in a hit and run. Plus, he's been troubled by his knee. He's overweight. He hasn't practiced. He's just not there. It's more of a mental thing with him. So without him, he's rated one of the top 4 or 5 defensive linemen. He had 12 sacks. He makes Watt's job a lot easier. Without him, there's more pressure on Watt.
Yeah, that's about the right grade because sometimes they're dominant. They're a dominant pass rushing team, but let's see if they can stop the run. They don't stop the run as well as they used to.
Not going to do it without Tuitt, that's for sure. The outside linebackers, I really like them. I think they added some depth. They have Watt and Highsmith are obviously all about them. And then the rookie Jameer Jones steps in, and then Melvin Ingram, a good pickup. I give the outside linebackers a grade of A-.
Yeah, and I give them an A+. I look around the league. I don't think there's any group that gets after the quarterback like they do, and that's their job. Their job is not stopping the run. Their
The
job is-
outside guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get the,
I tell you what, though, his production went down significantly when the guy on the other side got hurt.
Dupree.
Yeah.
And the fact is, without Tuitt in there, it's going to be a huge difference for him to be playing without Tuitt, 6'6", 300 pounds up in front of him. We look at the inside linebackers, and it's Devin Bush and Joe Schubert as starters, but the backups, it's a huge drop-off from there. So I'm just giving the inside linebackers a grade of B-. They better be ready, as you said, against the lines there for Baltimore and Cleveland, and those running backs stopping the inside running.
It's a good point that the Steelers were always famous for having depth. They don't have it. They don't have depth right now. And I don't know if it's Roethlisberger's contract. I don't know what the reason
Well,
is.
there's a limit there, and they hit that point where with the cap,
And it went down.
and you can there's only so much money to
That's right.
hand out there,
That's
and
right.
if they don't sign him in a few days, he's not going to get it done. Now we go to cornerbacks. There are 4. Hayden says they won't give him a new contract. He's 32. He said he's going to be a free agent. You have Hayden. I like Cam Sutton as a inside cover guy, nickelback. I don't like him as a starting corner. You have Pierre and Lane behind him. Lane hasn't shown me anything. This is his 3rd year. Pierre has improved. Shows that he could maybe play. But because of that depth and the coverage issues, I only give the corners a C.
Yeah, I would give him a C-. I'm even down below. I don't like Lane at all. I think if they'll be booing him if he's out there. He'll be burnt. And so Pierre has to get it done.
Well, why have they kept Lane? They've invested a lot of money in
That's
him. He
it.
was
That's
a high
the
pick.
answer. That's the
You
answer.
They're
answered
hoping he
your own
comes
question. You answered your own question.
And then the safeties, the 4, Minka Fitzpatrick and Terrell Edmonds, Killebrew, and Trey Norwood. Norwood's looked pretty good. I give him a grade of B. Here's why. I think they're great tackling safeties. But I think at times in the red zone, they have some problems down there in their coverage.
Yeah, that's why I dropped them down all the way to a D. I think they are like linebackers playing safety. I don't like the way they cover at all, Eddie. I think that's one of the weakest parts of their game.
And this,
When have they? I heard this the other day. I wanted to ask you guys. When's the last time they drafted a D-back that really developed? This Edmonds has been a bust. No.
Yeah, he's not. Like they thought
he's not a
he'd be.
good cover guy.
No, he can't
He's just
cover.
not a good cover guy. And teams, you know this, tight ends wreak havoc on us. They just destroy them. The kicking is solid. Chris Boswell is back. He had a good year last year. Rookie punter Presley Harvin comes in. Jordan Berry just released. He was signed by Minnesota. I like the kicking game. I give him a B+. Kick coverage is a little shaky to me. It's a C+, B-.
Yeah, I'm with you on those.
Well, when we look at the schedule, one word comes to mind, ouch. Opening at Buffalo, and then at Green Bay, at Cleveland, at the Chargers, at Minnesota, at Kansas City, at Baltimore, and then home games, Tennessee, Vegas, the Bears, and of course the usual division teams. It's a brutal schedule.
On paper, and that's all you go by right now. Those away games, I don't see one they can win.
It does sound tough, doesn't it?
I mean, geez, oh man, they're underdog in all those games, and this is the first time the Steeler fans are going into the season really apprehensive. Like they've always thought, well, we're going to be really good. We're really going to be good. This is a tough year, and we'll see what happens.
Well,
Al and I have a buddy publishes like 9 newspapers and stuff. He works for the owner of the Pirates, and he's a big Steeler fan, and he thinks 7-10.
Well, how critical those? I mean, come on, the secondary play is so crucial, and any injuries there will really be devastating to them. And the offensive line, there's just no depth there at all. And you're starting 2 rookies and 4 new guys.
Yeah, I see 7 wins too, and I'm a Steeler fan, not fanatic, but a fan. And this is on paper. This defense is the worst defense they've had in a long, long time.
And you said something too, both of you. The fact that the cap went down and the way they pay their stars. I think depth is a word that is gone. It's hard to have depth.
It really is, unless you find some rookies come in or you get some veterans released. Every now and then you hit a home run, like when Hayden was released by the Browns. They were lucky to pick him up, but that doesn't happen very often.
Seattle and Pittsburgh are very similar. Both of them are on the way down because they have to pay their quarterback. And once you pay your quarterback, you can't get players that they're not players.
And then what they're going to have to give Watt.
Oh yeah, they have to give it to him.
On top of
you
that,
cannot leave him go.
And then next year, Fitzpatrick wants.
I let him go. He's not like
Fitzpatrick
Watt.
wants a big money.
Yeah, Watt's
goes
the guy.
way up next year though.
It does.
Oh, the cap does. Okay.
Oh
it
yeah,
does.
because
Okay.
it went down because there was no revenue.
and-
Then
okay.
it's going to adjust.
But the
annually.
player demands
no.
will go up too.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's go to our power rankings. Our top 12 teams start off. My number one ranked team, you guys can agree, disagree. I have Kansas City in there. A quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Can he lead them to a third straight Super Bowl? They got the best tight end around, arguably one of the best wide receivers in Hill. The rebuilt offensive line, they pick up two important picks. They get guard Joe Thuney from New England, and they get offensive tackle Orlando Brown from Baltimore.
Yeah, Kansas City's really good, but I have one team above them. We'll see where you put them. I won't say it yet.
All right. The home opener versus Cleveland. What do we see here, George?
Well, is that a great game?
That's a great opener.
That's a great game.
What's the
that's
spread
a
here?
tough one. That's a tough one. The Browns are getting 6.5 at the Chiefs opening game. It sounds about right. You know, that crowd there at Kansas City. But, you know, the Browns last year went in there and gave them a nice ball game.
We're going to get to the Browns and talk about them. Okay, number 2, I have Buffalo. Home against the Steelers. Quarterback Josh Allen. The wide receiver trio of Diggs and Beasley and Davis, very solid. Number 2, NFL offense. Number 14, NFL defense. I think the defense is going to get a little better with them. The only issue with Buffalo, everything, stay healthy and don't be overconfident.
That is my number one
Yeah.
team. That's my number one team.
Number one team.
So you're right behind them. I have Buffalo taking that jump this year. I think they're gonna. I believe they're. That's why I'm picking to win the Super Bowl. So I'll stay with it all year. I never get off. That's the team I think is going to win the Super Bowl.
And the spread here, George, against the Steelers, they're at home.
6.5.
And they're in negotiations right now for a new $1.4 billion stadium, but they're hitting a snag. This city can't afford to lose the Bills.
No,
I don't know where they would go. Where would they go? New Jersey?
Buffalo fans are
New
really in on
Jersey's
it.
a possibility. You know, the thing about it is with them, there's a love affair there, but when it comes time to building a public stadium, there's caution.
There's all kinds of. There's not everyone's in favor of it. That's,
No,
it's
remember
always
when,
at the taxpayers'
even when that
expense.
stadium's full in Pittsburgh, it's 60,000. You know, it's not 350,000.
All right, number 3, I have Tampa Bay, the defending Super Bowl champs. Their offensive rank last year was number 6. Their defensive rank number 7. Everyone's back. Brady's 44. That is the major issue. They're solid both sides of the ball. Can Brady still deliver it? September 9th, Thursday night, they open with Dallas.
That league they're in is really good. You know, don't just think Tampa Bay's going to walk through that league. That's a really strong league.
I'm expecting Carolina to step up.
They will be really good.
I'm telling you, I think Carolina's going to step up. And the only thing is opening game, 7.5 points. Dallas quarterback hasn't played in 2 years. That's going to be a tough task.
Yeah, and the thing I really like about Tampa, all the talk about their offense and everyone's back, their defense is solid. I think they have the best group of linebackers, big, tough guys in the NFC. What do we see in the opener? What are they favored by?
7.5.
7.5 against Dallas.
I think they have the best linebacker in football. I think White's the best linebacker in football.
Yeah, they're tough. You can't run on them in
And
the
he
inside.
he stepped up last year in the playoffs. That really made his name. I remember him come out of LSU. I think it was different.
They've gone the other way. So many teams say we need smaller, faster. They got big linebackers.
Bigger, faster.
240,
You know what else,
245.
too? No one has ever brought 22 back.
That's amazing.
That's different.
And I don't want to ever count out Tom Brady, whether he's 44
Never.
or 54. But look at their schedule. They have 2 brutal 3-game sets. September 26th at Rams. Mark this one down. October the 3rd at the Patriots. Welcome back, Tom. And then the following week, they're at home with Miami. And then in December, they have a stretch. They have Buffalo, the Saints, and Carolina in a row.
And that's the NFL.
You could be good and still lose and end up 3-3 out
you
of that
could.
stretch.
Yes, you could.
No, absolutely. Remember last year? Weren't they 7-5?
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
and what turned it around, I'm going to say it again, Brady went back to being Brady, the short passes, because Leonard Fournette stepped up and opened up that running game. Number 4, this is my surprise. You may shock you guys. I had the Rams in there with new quarterback Matt Stafford. That defense is number 1 in the NFL with Aaron Donald, and then they picked up a nice trade, running back Sony Michel. They get from New England. They open up with Chicago with the Bears.
Yeah, it'll be tough without the Bears. Bears have a good defense, but they don't have that, the offense, and that's why the Rams are 7.5-point favorite.
Can Stafford make a difference?
I have that as the number 1 division. If you ask me what division is the
Rams?
very best,
Yeah,
when Arizona is struggling to make the playoffs and they're
they're
good,
worse.
and they're good.
that's San Francisco's and Rams and.
So,
and,
do you think Stafford can make a difference?
I know he makes a
Oh,
difference. He's better
all
than
right.
Goff.
Hey,
Yeah.
another thing, too. I don't know what the deal is about chasing Jimmy G out the door. When he's healthy, they're good.
Yeah, we're gonna get to them. We have them ranked. Let's go to number 5, Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is back, and he is surrounded by all kinds of weapons. The running back Aaron Jones was big last year for them. What can you say? But Devontae Adams, he's a Pro Bowl receiver. They were number 5 offense, number 9 defense. A little bit of concern about the rush defense, but it's still pretty solid. They're gonna play out New Orleans, but that game will be in Jacksonville because of the flooding in New Orleans.
Green Bay is my number 2 team in the NFC. So I think that Rodgers will have something to prove. I think the troops will rally around him. I have one team rated higher than them, but I really like Green Bay.
I was disappointed with their run defense at the end of the year and in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Even though they're ranked number 9,
He's
didn't play up to
lost
stature.
3 or 4 home games to go to the Super Bowl. When you have the home game, that means you have the best record.
And what about the spread here in this game?
It's 4.5, and I think part of that's because it's not in the dome.
Not in there. All right, and number 6, I have the Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield, and one of the best offensive lines around, and the running back tandem of Chubb and Hunt, and then those 2 receivers, Landry. Beckham's going to be healthy this year. The defense, they did a lot of shifting, brought in some new players, defensive end Jadeveon Clowney and the rookie linebacker Owasu Koromoa. I think they're going to be better on defense. This team, with that offensive line, the thing is, can Baker Mayfield improve his game?
They made it easy for him. He does a lot of play action now. I have Cleveland playing in the AFC Championship game. That's how good I think they are. I have Cleveland playing Buffalo in the AFC Championship
Who's
game.
taking Kansas City out in your mind?
Me. Both
But
of
I mean,
them. Both of them.
either one,
Both
either
of
one.
them.
And
I don't have
with-
Kansas City as high.
Yeah.
I don't have Kansas City as high as everybody else.
And when you look at that playoff game, everyone talks about how bad the Steelers were. No one wants to give the Browns enough credit. Their offensive line destroyed the Steelers in that game. They trapped Cam
Tremendous
Hayward.
offensive
I
line.
saw Watt.
Number one in football.
They let Watt come upfield, and he got trapped and buried a few times. That offensive line did a tremendous
Well,
job.
PFF has them number 1 pass, number 1 run out.
They're the best. Cleveland's the best.
But I didn't hear anyone in Pittsburgh give the Browns offensive line
Well,
any
they
credit
never-
for that
they never-
game.
They will never will.
They had a tremendous.
So you had a phrase there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and you know me, I love to watch those
Offensive line,
offensive
yes, I know.
linemen. All right,
And they're number 1. Now there's
Oh.
there's nobody
On
near them.
both.
You understand? There's
Benito,
nobody near them.
they just beat the Steelers up.
Yeah, that's
physically.
Usually you're good in the run or not as good with the pass or vice versa. Pro Football Focus has them number 1 in both.
Number 7, I have is really my surprise pick, the LA Chargers. They open up at Washington. Quarterback Justin Herbert. What a great job he did last year. They have a strong receiving core. Number 9 rank offensively. The question is, keep Joey Bosa healthy on defense, and that defense, I think it will improve. I really like the Chargers.
Their luck has to change. I just hope I'll have to look and see who their kicker is.
Decimated by injuries.
They lose more games with missed kicks and make kicks than anybody in football.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this year they have a kicker that can make a field goal.
They lose too many close games. The game's a pick 'em out Washington.
And Washington got a great defense.
Washington gets after the quarterback.
Outstanding
That's for
defense.
sure.
Number 8, I have Baltimore. It's a Monday night opener at the Raiders. Quarterback Lamar Jackson, he can run, but his passing is holding this team back, it's my opinion. They're number 1 rush in the NFL and number 32 pass. You're not going to go to a Super Bowl being ranked 32 in passing, and now they lose running back Jake Dobbins, and they lost to tackle Orlando Brown, who went to Kansas City. All-pro offensive lineman Ron Stanley's back. How do you see Baltimore?
And you said it. They'll go as far as Jack, because Jackson's tremendous talent. I mean, not just out of this world talent. If he just throws the ball decent, they can win games.
But oftentimes he misses the open receiver. You can't. That pass game has to improve. Has to go from at least up 12,
15.
10
Yeah,
spots
yeah,
somewhere
I would agree.
for them to be the threat.
He can keep that ball though and just kill you when you think
Yeah,
you have to stop.
Well, let's see, they can't put all the pressure on Gus Edwards as a running back without Dobbins. I look for them to pick someone up. Number 9, Tennessee. They're at home with Arizona. Number 2 ranked offensively. The defense was horrible. Number 28. Will Bud Dupree make a difference for them? Ryan Tannehill, tremendous year, 33 touchdown passes. Derrick Henry, 2,000 yards rushing. But guys, he carried the ball 378 times.
He likes it. He gets better when he carries the ball. So there's certain guys that do that. Most NFL guys get hurt. He's just a big stud. He gets better. Tennessee is. It will be in a lot of high-scoring games this
My
year.
team.
That's Georgia's team.
right.
Yeah, that number 28 defensive rank.
No
They picked up cornerback Janoris Jenkins too. So see if these two pickups will make any difference.
Yeah, with the Cardinals, you know.
Yes.
You have to win those home games in this league, I'm telling you.
Number 10, I have New England in there. Can rookie quarterback Mac Jones lead them to the playoffs? They are at home with Miami. That October 3rd game with Tampa Bay. COVID returning. Many players that opted out last year or are back. Then they pick up all-pro linebacker Matt Judon. They pick up 2 defensive end free agents, Anderson from the Jets. The offensive line is strong. The fact that they let Sony Michel go tells you about the strength and depth of their running backs.
Harris is one of the most underrated backs in the league.
And then the kid from Oklahoma, Ramonde, is it Stevenson?
Yeah,
6 foot, about 235. They said he's a bruising inside
They want to
runner
run it. They want
to run the ball.
with a strong offensive line.
Play good defense, what he does.
I have them third in that league. You missed the team that I really like. I love Miami.
Let me guess.
I love Miami. I think Miami's really good.
All right, number 11, I have the Steelers. Is this going to be Ben's last year? We already said, went through all their positions. That the pressure, I think, not the pressure, but the key is rookie running back Najee Harris.
Yeah, and it all revolves around the lines, offensive and defensive lines, see what they can do.
Yeah, so you could have Jim Brown back there, but
Yes,
if that
that's
offensive
right.
line isn't any good, you're going to have problems. All right, number 12, I have the San Francisco 49ers. They open up at Detroit. They start with the NFL's number 5 rush defense and Nick Bosa, but they were injury-riddled in 2020. Where do you go? Quarterback, you like Garoppolo. Others are saying
Garoppolo.
Trey Lance. They have one of the best tight ends around in George Kittle. The number 15 ranked offense. Everything should be better if these guys stay healthy this year.
That's the one I'm way different than you. I have them going to the Super Bowl. I have 49ers going to the Super Bowl.
There you go.
So I
There you go.
really love the 49ers. I think they're
Who do you want a quarterback?
Garoppolo.
Garoppolo.
Yeah, no question.
Just let them mix that guy in a little
I
bit.
really love their team.
The kid from North Dakota State, mix him
Trade
in. I'm
him.
not saying don't play him.
And you
but-
tell Garoppolo, don't run.
Yeah, you
Don't
can't
run. Throw the ball away or slide and get down.
That's George loves Tennessee and I love San Francisco.
Well, that's our show for today. Hope you liked our pro football preview. We will see you next week.